So the Maisa. So for anyone who didn't hear yet, the whole tumult is that.
Very good.
So for whoever didn't hear, the whole tumult is that they discover. Apparently, there's a recent discovery. Until now, no one knew that one of the biggest beer distributor is owned by a Yid in New York.
The story supposedly is that they did know, but nobody was able to get there.
They only discovered it like the past year. Apparently, I think they said there was some newspaper article. Apparently, he was a survivor, or his father was on. There was some article about him in the newspaper, and that's what people realized. The Yiddish name, they realized that it's owned by a Yid.
Also, they didn't know how big it was.
The past 5 years, he's been growing by leaps and bounds.
Manhattan beer distributors.
Also, what makes it harder is apparently the way it works is that certain distributors they have the contract on certain companies and they distribute all those. It's not like you have a bunch of people distribute. He's a distributor.
The rights for these parts
for a lot of companies.
For major companies.
Yeah, Heineken, all these.
So in New York, he's the only.
So everything that gets distributed when you walk in a store came from him.
So that means that it was in his warehouse.
He might have even shipped it on Pesach if you want to take it a little bit to next week.
No. But he might drop ship it. So wait a minute.
No, so
Wait a minute.
So the Shiloh was. Hang on. Wait. Let's discuss.
No, he's shipping it.
So the Maisa was, so they've been trying. A lot of people have been trying to get him to do Mechira. They weren't Matzliach until Kalman Weinstein was Matzliach when okay to get him to do Mechira. Yeah, the whole story at the Kakush and whatever the whole. so the Shiloh's there too.
Okay.
Kalman Weinstein. So there's two parts that in the follows when it comes to Chametz Shav Pesach. There's Chametz Shav Pesach. The Gemara is Machlekes we passing is only Issur D'Rabbanan, and there's two things we're going to discuss. First of all, let's say there was no Mechira. Let's say the Mechira was good. What's it in by suffix? If you have a suffix Shav Pesach, you come to the store, you're buying beer. How do you know? You don't know if this beer was owned by on Pesach or before Pesach. You don't know which one it is. What's it in by suffix? Do you say suffix l'kula or l'chumra? And then the second shaila is the kuwi is this mechira good mechira, even though he sold his chametz, but the store
that it just came in. You saw the truck pull up with it.
Right, but let's now that we know that he did a mechira, so Vade is going to be also.
The first thing he said was,
is this maybe it just came in.
No, that's the second thing. First suffix is, let's say there was no mechira. Let's say the mechira wasn't good. So you walk into the store, so you have to know was this
maybe this
what inventory? What do you do when it's a suffix? You don't know is this beer that was bought after Pesach or before Pesach or on Pesach? So what do you do by suffix? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. The second thing is about the mechira which was done. Is that proper mechira? Because even though this person sold his chametz, the store was open. It was running the whole Pesach. He bought more. He bought new chametz. He bought new beer. He sold the beer he had.
So what is the shayla? Is it a joke what he sold?
Is it a proper mechira?
Because he was not through. He's making a joke out of the story.
I just want to be also that historically that there were major chains. There's grocery store chains in New York. Wallbound comes to mind.
That's the same China.
Jewish-owned chain. They were open Pesach. They were open after Pesach. They were and everybody would advertise that there was mechiros chametz for Wallbound.
And other people that advertise don't buy by Wallbound by them because they were open.
I remember in Australia the same thing. They had
don't buy by the kosher places.
So let's start.
Bring your shameless to Albany.
So let's start the shir. So the first sugya, there's the sugya in Pesachim, Daflam Aleph Amud Beis. It talks about if you find chametz in a store, and there were yidden and goyim in the store, who do you assume it belongs to? How do you don't know who it belongs to? Is it chametz shav Pesach or not? What do you do? So the Gemara says. So it's in the first one. The Gemara says, Tan Rabbanon. Chanos shall Yisrael. If the store was owned by Yid, Umaloi shall Yisrael, and the workers are Yidden, Malai means the chametz in there, and the chametz inside the store belongs to the yid. The stock belongs to the yid. Upayali nachrin,
that's the thing for Kerti.
and payali nachrin.
You got both kids.
Oh, we're on the first one still.
Yeah, payali nachrin michnasin l'sham, and the geisha workers are over there. They're coming in there. Chametz shenichnas. Chametz shenimsa sham achar pesach is aser bahana ve'in tzorich lemachila. It's if you find chametz over there, we assume it belongs to the yid, and it's not only aser, it's aser bahana, and for sure aser ba'achila. It's aser by both of them. And Satan explains why do we go after the owner of the store? Because the owner of the store is B'kvius over here. There's more of a chance it came from him. He's selling this stuff and he's there all day long. The workers came and could be they brought in a little bit of hummus. Chances are whatever they brought in they ate.
There's a kavua and there's, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, that's all Shon Taz. This is kavua. This hummus is kavua, and this person, the workers, they bring it in. Chances are whatever they brought in they ate or they took back out with them. So you go after them. So the next case, Amara brings a flip case. If the store is owned by a guy, Malay Shal Yisrael, Malay Shal Nachri, and the merchandise belongs to the guy, and there were Yiddish workers going in there and coming out, the Sham, it's mutter b'achila, but inside chleimer b'hana. It's mutter not only b'achila, but it's also mutter b'hana.
It's Reiv and it's Kavua. That's two things.
What's that?
You have Reiv because it's the merchandise also is
Right. You have Sai Reiv and Sai Kavua.
Yeah.
So why are we assuming that the workers bring in food
Yeah,
to
I
sell?
have the same question.
That was a mitzvah. No, not to sell. They bring him food.
It's a possibility.
They bring him food to eat, not to sell. They bring him food. They bring in lunch. They bring lunch. They bring lunch. They bring food.
So why would that go on the shelf to be go for
So why are they
sale?
going to sell?
It was on the
So
floor.
it was the same type of
The
chametz,
guy who
yeah.
brought in his lunch, or did it come off the shelf? So we say, of course, it came off the shelf.
We assume. So we assume chances are the bigger chance it came from the owner of the store than from the workers.
But it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, the way I'm reading this, it doesn't matter really what it is. If you found food in there that you could eat, then you go with basar the kavua.
You find chametz, not food.
Kavua and Reiv, right? You find
Right. Saying the Taz is.
Even if it's not exactly, it does it have to be the same thing as the merchandise, doesn't it?
So the Taz wants to say the Taz gets into that we're talking about where it's the same type of merchandise where you could assume it came from both of them. Because if the store never sold that stuff, so why would you assume it came from there? But
In those times they didn't have packaged foods.
so let's say this is it says he go after the owner of the store. So the Bach has a question that the Gemara, if you notice that it's repetitive, right? It says not repetitive, but it says it's also it's also bahana. It's also not only it's bahana and for sure but to eat. And in the second case it also says mutter bahana, mutter ba'achila, bahana. You're allowed to eat it, and I have to mention, and obviously you're going to be allowed to benefit from it.
To eat chametz than to have a nod after Pesach? I never heard this one. I'm not here today about Shabbat. No, I'm saying Isra Nov, chametz shavel of Pesach.
It should be less of it.
It should be the same thing. Eating it.
Saying say hana and say achila.
Same. It's all about the nod. It's no problem for you to eat.
Saying it's only against a knas.
Yeah.
Usually Suri Achila are more chamer.
Sell it. I mean,
But why can't I eat it? It's after Pesach. There's no din of chametz. So the only
It's a
problem
knas.
is to be able to eat it.
It's a knas,
So what?
midrabanan.
So that's the same thing as the nod. The only
So it's
reason
not
you
that you
eat
can
it is
eat
because
it.
of the
It's
nod.
not that you can eat it, but maybe you can have enough from it.
Okay, maybe. So maybe.
No, he's saying it's more chametz than the eating.
More
is
chametz
chametz.
than eating, right? And I'm saying it's the same. The way I'm
sorry.
understanding it. Okay, fine.
So the Bach has a question. Why does the Gemara have to say both? Let's just say we know chametz is also saiba no and saiba achil. Let's just say in one case it's also, one case is mutter. Why do you have to say? Why do you have to specify both of them as sai hana and sai achil? So the Bach gives explanation. So you might think, what's the reason it's usher over here? You might think it's usher only because of a suffix. You might think we have a suffix. Who does it belong to? And therefore we're going to be machmir. We're going to be mekel. If so, if it's only because of a suffix, it's enough to be machmir to be eser ba'achila. You shouldn't be eser ba'ana. If it's only a suffix chametz, then we're only going to be eser ba'achila. We're not going to be eser ba'ana. He says, therefore, the Gemara needs to tell you that no, when it's usher even bahana, because it's not a suffix over here. We assume that it for sure came from the owner of the store. We're assuming it for sure came from the owner of the store. It's not a suffix, and therefore, if it came from the owner of the store, it's going to be usher sai ba'achila sai bahana. if the owner is a yid. If the owner is a goyis, and it's going to be mutter saiba only not only.
Is there anything that's after Pesach that's mutter, that's asur b'achila, mutter b'ana? Or maybe this is the makkah that he's telling you it's all the same.
This is the makkah.
That it's all the same.
In a second, we're going to bring it out. So again, the Bach's question is, why does the Gemara have to specify that it's mutter or asur both b'achila and hana? So he says, no, Gemara is specifying. You might think that the reason it's asur is only because you have a suffix. We have a suffix, and we're going to be machmir. If we're only going to be machmir because of a suffix, but only be machmir b'achila, only be isur b'achila. Why do you have to be isur also b'hana? So he says no, because the Gemara is telling you that it's not only a suffix. We're not only being isur mikach suffix. We're assuming it for sure came from the owner of the store.
I don't really understand how you would ever even think to make a chiluk between a chila and a na after Pesach. After Pesach,
because it's only a suffix. You don't have to be machmir so much. You don't have to be so machmir. It's only a suffix isur derabanan. Only you have to be so machmir to be isur.
There's totally zero isur deraisa of chametz shavel of a Pesach, right?
Yeah.
It's only that Rabbanan gave you a knas.
Yes.
So why is it a bigger knas not to eat? What is eating in
no, it just means practically it is because it is a bigger knas, because at least if I can't eat it, I could sell it to a guy.
Why can't I eat it?
You can't eat it because of a knas. Chacham made a knas that you shouldn't come to wait it for after Pesach. We want to make sure.
In a certain dvarim asurim b'achila, at least you can say, okay, I can sell it to.
Like treif, you could sell to a guy.
Right, so it's a bigger knas. So
this is, I'm thinking of it after. So this was the shayla.
So
it's both the same.
So we'll see. So miteich divrei habach, we're going to see that he holds that by a suffix chav mishal var pesach. You see, he holds that it's going to be asur b'achila. So let's read inside.
Asur, he's coming to tell you.
When is vadai? When is, because over here it's vadai.
He holds only one yes and one no that you could.
That it's asur b'achila, but you could have hana. So let's read it. Let's read the Bach inside in the second Maramakim. The Bach and Simon Tufman test, he writes, the Ikal Meidak, you can ask a question, the Havil Misni Beresha, Asur Bestam, just say it's Asur, Ubeseifa, and Resha said Asur Bestam, Beseifa, Mutter Bestam, Kedetani Bechol Duchta, like we always say, Chamzi, Asur Mutter, and we know automatically it's Sai Hana, Sai Achila. So he explains Venira, the Bechol Duchta, the Ikadrar, the chametz, when we're talking about a real Hashash chametz, we're talking about real chametz, Tani Bestam, Asur Mutter, the Ilan Ul Chanak Yisra Hana, Yisra Achila. Because why should we make a difference between Achila or Hana? Either it's asur or mutter or both. By chametz,
isn't there a special limit for hana over achila?
Right, but regarding chametz, we know chametz is all when it's asur also b'hana. When it's mutter or both.
Because another limit.
Was zayin, but when we're discussing chametz, whenever you told me it's.
You have both been with them by chametz shavel pesach.
Oh, but we know it's asur.
So now we always know asur mutter chametz shavel pesach. Asur mutter.
We didn't say it's also for the same reason. We have one limit for achila.
It's a knas. It's a knas.
Chachamim.
After Pesach?
No, before Pesach.
On Pesach?
It's a knas from Chachamim that it's asur b'hana. It's a knas from Chachamim. We know that it's asur b'hana.
In all ways.
We know that it's asur b'hana. The Bach Shaila is
both.
Hana.
We know that it's asur both. That's
we know it's asur both.
That was made that way for Chatchila.
Yeah.
That's the question.
So the question is,
we know it was made the Chatchila for both. In general, it's always made for both.
Before Pesach, how do we know?
I'm not talking about before Pesach. Chametz shavel pesach.
Chametz shavel pesach, we know it's also sai b'achil and sai b'hana. So the question is,
where's this new story? So he says it's by Safik. This new story by this.
So let's finish. Let's finish what he's writing.
When we say at the beginning of Pesach that
he
finished is also b'achila and b'hana, it's two different limudim.
That's on Pesach.
Yeah.
After Pesach, there's no such thing till now.
So let's see. He says avol. Next piece, avol. In our case, b'chanas ain't a suffix. By our story, you might think it's only a suffix. B'chayim is it's enough. Like say b'achila, even like the chametz b'vadei. Since it's not for sure chametz, shalva pesach, b'chayim is enough to only be isur b'achila. After isur b'hana. Al kain tani v'reisha. Therefore, we taught in the reisha that it's asur b'hana. Why? The talina lava b'ayim l'mishal b'vadei. We assume that it for sure came from the yidden which are owners. The ein tzarich leimer b'achila. And for sure it's going to be asur not only asur b'achila. Claimer that filei have a suffix have asur b'achila. That even if only be a suffix, it would be asur b'achila. Kol shekein over here the dainina like havadei. For sure in this case we assume we treat it like havadei. It's going to be also b'hana.
Would only be asur b'achila the way the Bach's learning. Yeah.
So you see two things. First of all, the Bach, the main thing we want to bring up from here is you see the Bach is machmir by suffix. The Bach holds that chametz of pesach, even though it's only the rabbanon, and usually we say safek rabbanon lekula. The Bach says no. Safek chametz of pesach, even though it's only the rabbanon, you go lechumra.
No, I don't know.
Unless you have a rave, unless you have a rave, or you have a kavua, you have.
He's saying that this suffix is a vade, but in a case where I know it's a real suffix, then it would only be aser b'achila. In this case, he's considering it kevada.
Right. But you see from Mitach Devrei Atabach, you see that in a case where you have a regular suffix, Cham Shabbat Pesach, you go lechumra, and it's aser b'achila. You're not allowed to eat it.
You go lechumra, or you go lekula that it's only aser b'achila.
It depends from both. It depends which way you're looking at it.
Lekula.
On one hand, we're machmir that it's aser b'achila. On the other hand, we're being mekel.
1 second. Vade chametz, I say, is aser both.
Yes.
Achila no. Safek chametz, I say, is only aser b'achila.
So,
lekula, no?
in comparison to Vade chametz, it's going it's more mekel. But on the other hand, he's being the cham and the suffix, he's being machmir. He's saying that it's aser.
Anyone says that by suffix, it's nothing?
Oh yeah, so the Bach holds like this, the Magen Avram holds like this, also. But we have the Taz and the Chak Yaakov argue. They say they don't like this. They say that no, Chametz Shabbat Pesach is the Rabban. You should go to Kula. So how is this? Where is this in the?
He's saying the fact that the Gemara says both cases is the raya that a suffix is only aser b'achila. What's the limit?
It's a raya that this case we consider kavade.
He's saying why?
It's a raya that this suffix is a vade, but a regular suffix will only be b'achila.
But where do we see that the fact that the Gemara says it twice that we have this limud?
He's explaining that's why the Gemara had to tell you that it's not only aser b'achila, it's also aser b'hana. It's a diuk based on the Gemara. Why does the Gemara have to say it's aser sai b'achila, sai b'hana? He says because if you might have thought it's only aser, it's only a iser suffix. If it's only a suffix, you would think it's only be iser b'achila. You don't have to be so machmir to be iser b'hana also. Therefore, the Gemara has to tell you no, it's also aser b'hana because it's not just a suffix where we would only be iser b'achila. It's a vadai. We treat it like a vadai, and that's why it's going to be aser also b'hana, not only b'achila. It's based on the diet why the Gemara had to specify both things. That it's not only aser b'achila, also b'hana.
Okay.
And
normal, we know by everybody. We know it's aser by both. Why by this one it's saying? To tell you that this is not a suffix, it's a vade. But a suffix would be different. Yeah.
So where does the Chak Yaakov come in? So the Chak Yaakov disagrees. The Chak Yaakov Rabbeinu Chananel argues with this. He has a different girsa in the Gemara we brought earlier. He learns it the opposite way. He learns that the ikar is after the workers. You always go after the workers, not after the owner. Our girsa in the Gemara says that you go after the owners. You assume that the chametz came from the owners of the store. Rabbeinu Chananel has a different girsa that you go after the worker, not after the workers in the store.
We're not worried about the malay. What the shelves are full of.
Yeah, he has a different girsa that you go after the workers of the store, and the Rif, the Chak Yaakov is like that. The Rif and the Rambam skipped out this whole din. What happens if you find chametz in the store? So the shaila is why. So the Chak Yaakov wants to say because since it's machlekes, you go lekula either way. It's a suffix that rabbanon, you go lekula.
I would say they skipped it because it's so perfect.
So he said the
Rave, it's kavua, it's everything. Of course, it's the store. It's not what they call it, not the guy who brought in his chips. 99.9 is a vade.
So the Chak Yaakov argue he wants to say because it's only a rabbanon, therefore we're going to be mekel. Okay, in the third Maramach in the Chak Yaakov. He writes, they skipped out all these din about if you find chametz in the store. Why? Because of Harayv, and the Raiva says, "Shalkach heshmi din zeh, lefi sheyesh girsas mechulafis, ma'akin yisura." The Raiva says, since they have different girsas, whether you go after the owner of the store, you go after the workers, therefore they left it out. Whatever you do, you go lechumra. Akam l'sheinin. But he disagrees. He says the be'emes mistarben le'memia ibcha makes sense to say it the other way around. The midah heshmitu ha'peiskim, since they left it out, elun v'lo yashminu an iser. If they didn't tell you, they didn't come tell you that it's also no matter what. Shema mina the sudil deishla hatim misveika. Learn out from here that you could be matir misafik. Kedin kol safik derabanan. Just like any safik derabanan, you could be mekel. So too over here, it's a chamesh al pesach. Lochein lechashul lekasle kivin shu muter. Mashaikin nindon iser hafi lehula haskir. They should have mentioned lahazir ala iser. If there was something wrong, they should have mentioned that there is an iser.
They did. And I guess they didn't. You say
they skipped out the whole din. They didn't mention this whole din in the Gemara.
So according to the Chak Yaakov, he learns the Gemara that the Gemara is a suffix. Or he doesn't learn it suffix.
It's not a suffix.
He learns this is a vadai.
Yeah, it's a vadai.
And what would be an actual suffix?
Actual suffix, you go with kula. Suffix,
What case would be an actual suffix? This is called a vadai.
If it's equal, if you have equal, if it's 50-50 suffix, there's a place where sai yit and sai goyim, it's equal. Yeah. If it's mechsa on mechsa, you go to kula. Suffix darabanan. The klal is suffix darabanan kula. Why should you go to chumrah?
That means mechsa means that half of the products belong to Yid and half belong to a guy.
Yeah. Okay, also yeah.
And why do they? So 1 second. So what do they learn by this suffix? What does the Chak Yaakov learn by this suffix? That it's mutter.
It's mutter. It's only a suffix darabanan. Suffix darabanan chametz shava pesach.
It's kavod, it's rave, and this. He doesn't know.
No, not by suffix.
No, but it's also it's a suffix. How do you pass? And what's the ikar? You go after the workers, or you go after the? The question is, what's the svar of Beinu Chanana? Right, you're asking what's the svar of Beinu Chanana. I'm saying you have kavod and you have a rave. Why would you go after the workers? Right, so that's another question. What's the svar of Beinu Chanana? But apparently, you see from the different Chak Yaakov that suffix darabanan chametz pesach you go lekula. So this is Alter Rebbe Paskins. He said Alter brings on this machlekes, and Alter Rebbe says that the lechatchila should be machmer unless there's a hefsem meruba. Hefsem meruba you could be makel by suffix by chametz pesach, but if not, you should be machmer and that should be aser b'achila. So this is
aser b'achila or aser
b'achila. Only suffix only aser b'achila.
Everyone holds that.
Yeah. So when it comes to the ma'isa, with a beer, so if you are going to assume that there is a isser, that is beer which is chametz pesach, so you don't have to wait.
How's there hefsem meruba? What does it mean aser b'achila? Only for me, but you could eat it. I could sell it to you. If it's aser for me b'achila, but
for the seller,
for me that means I could sell it to you to eat, right?
So that for the seller it's hefsem meruba, for the buyer it's not hefsem meruba, right?
No hefsem meruba.
For the seller it's hefsem meruba.
Why? He could sell it. He can't eat it. He could sell it.
Right, but if he can't, he has a ton of chametz.
You say that the Hifzid Achila it only applies if it's hefsem meruba.
Yeah. So the second. So when it comes to practice, if there's some issue with the stores, you have to wait until the chances are you can estimate that there's a ruiv of kosher beer, which is not chametz shava pesach.
1 second. The suffix achila is for me or for the store owner?
It's for everyone. I'm saying if the store owner wants to eat it, it's for
the store owner.
He's only selling it.
No, by him it's no suffix. He knows for sure. This whole suffix and badi is a step further, right?
The whole suffix
and badi comes on me purchasing in the store.
Yeah,
he knows what it is.
For
the store owner, it's no suffix.
Correct.
Right.
I wanted to throw the suffix and badi on him. Let it be aser b'achila for him. But mutter b'ana for him, so he sells it to me, so I could even eat it. But
right,
no,
but
the whole point is it's on us.
But he can't give you, if he's giving you something which is also b'achila, he has to tell you that you're not allowed to eat what I'm selling you.
Is that really the case?
If it was the michshal, 100%.
Yeah, you have to.
So if it's aser b'achila for me, who's it mutter b'ana? Only to Goyim.
To Goyim, yeah.
To do business.
What does that mean? Who could I sell it to?
To Goyim.
Yeah.
Only mutter b'ana
or
to
you
Goyim.
Or you can sell it to Yid, to sell it to another Yid, whichever way. I mean, to another guy, to another guy.
Are you sure about that?
To sell it to Yid, to sell to another guy?
I know that like the someone comes from, they own a non-kosher restaurant. They're not.
That's a different shayla. You're not supposed to do business with Isurei Hanon.
No, it's not Aser B'Ana, it's Aser.
I mean, right, but even though it's not Aser B'Ana, but you're not supposed to make a kiosk to get business out of it, I think.
They sell it, they're allowed to sell it though.
I think there's shilas where they're supposed to have a kiosk to get business with Isurei
Hanon. Maybe if I wholesale it, get rid of it, then if I...
Yeah, it's just a one-time thing, you're saying get rid of it, but if all year round you're selling things which is Isurei Hanon, I think that could be different.
Tavis to know you're allowed to have from these things?
For suffix, it's mutter. If it's
mutter
b'hana,
if it's mutter b'hana, I give it to a guy for free.
It would be a problem.
But now that he got something for free,
it would be a problem.
He's gonna.
The Pinchas is going to say that's by next year. The Pinchas is going to say Tavis I know we're not talking about today.
So now is this my
So
this is all what you do by suffix. Now let's get into that some mechira. So what's the shayla in mechiras chametz? So on one hand, so you have the mechiras chametz. so they got the siyat to sell this chametz after the whole ma'isa. But the shayla is, first of all, he's still he's selling his chametz. He's running a store on Pesach. So what does that mean? That means the whole sale is void. The whole sale was a joke. If I go and I start eating the chametz I sold on Pesach, does that mean the whole sale is bottled, or is it still a good sale?
What does the sale have to do with him selling to it? He's selling to a yid on Pesach, the chametz to a guy on Pesach.
Doesn't matter.
Having a
Well, Zion, but you can't buy it after Pesach. But
Who
after
owns
Pesach,
it? I sold it to the guy, and then I'm going and selling it. I make a joke. Did I sell it? If it's his, how am I selling it?
Good. All good.
there's a story.
You didn't sell it. You made a joke. You didn't have in mind to sell it. You
How can I
sold it
sell
and you were planning on selling it
How can I sell this same car to you and him?
You were doing something.
I sell you a car and I sell it to him the next day. How can I do sell the same car to the people? So obviously the sale to you was a joke. And the raya is he takes it home.
That's one way to look at it. I'm sure there's the other one.
So the Sdei Chemet, Heinz like the Sdei Chemet brings a mice that someone sold his chametz, and they found out that he was doing business with his chametz on Pesach. So he made a big announcement in town that you're not allowed to buy any chametz from this yid. The whole mechira is bottle. You're not allowed to buy it from him. And look in the fourth Maramakim. He says a few years earlier, there's a Maisa the Haya Maisa Be'ir Haziz. She'echad machar chametz l'nochi. Someone sold chametz to a guy. B'chol ha'moyid. V'oisei chametz hu miklovas ha'chametz she'machar la'idei k'chametz azolis. Kedem ha'pesach. And that chametz which he sold during Chol ha'moyid was the same chametz which he did mecheres chametz earlier. So what did he do? V'sati kol chemsei lachar Pesach. After I said that after Pesach all his chametz is also you're not allowed to eat from it. B'chol Yisrael. Chin huchas b'batei knessia shekol chemsei shel plini aser was announced that all his chametz is aser. B'chol b'ay Yisrael shekivan sheshalach yada b'mashe machar le'akum, since he started using what he sold him, mispatla hamechira shalifnei ha'pesach v'havei chametz shel Yisrael she'avra on
So the
ha'pesach.
star K goes with this. Clean.
And also.
Let's see. Before
there's more of this.
He's stealing
It's a
from
joke.
the guy. You're saying it's a joke. But the other way you can say he's stealing from the guy.
The OU goes with this, and
He's not stealing because he didn't ever plan to give it to
and
the
this
guy.
psak is based off the Maram Shik. The Maram Shik also brings a mice like this. He's talking about what happens if Shabbos falls
Shif,
out.
no? Madam Shif.
Shik. Maram
Shif,
Shik.
there's a Madam Shif and a Madam
He's a
Shif.
Talmud. Maram Shif is on. Maram
Gemara.
Shik is a Talmud. Yeah, Maram Shik is a Talmud of the Chasam Sefer. So he brings a mice. What happens if Shabbos falls out on Erev Pesach? So you have to sell everything before Pesach. What are you supposed to eat on Pesach? So he's saying you can't eat the Pesach. He's saying if he says you can't eat the Pesach, the chametz you sold to the guy because
So
you're
why
going
do
to
you
be
sell it
mevatel the
minus
mechira.
that what you're going to eat? That's what we say, no? You sell it minus that loaf.
Yeah, inachinai. But he was saying you can't eat what you sold to the guy because that's going to be mevatel the mechira.
Right,
So that's what the Sdei Chemet is based off of, the Maram Shiks. You have two big places. You have the Maram Shik, you have the Sdei Chemet.
That you'll be
mevatel the mechira.
if you touch the guy's stuff.
Yeah.
And you had in mind that you're going to touch it when you sold it, so you're making you never made a proper mechira.
Mechira.
I'm saying it wasn't that by accident I remembered in the middle I needed and I took it. Even by the sale, I was planning to steal from him.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a sale.
So those are the machminim. So now the tshuva from the Igros Meisha, and some other places that are makel. He say that could be. So what I ate afterwards? The sale was a sale. I already sold it. So why I ate it later.
Mind.
So I stole it. I stole it from him.
You didn't
Like,
steal
let's
it
say-
because you had in mind not even to sell it.
No.
But I did it. If I
I
sign a contract, like you said before, I sell the car to Eliezer,
No,
and then
you're
I
not
go
a con-
and I
you
write
never
it.
stole yesterday. You're not going to steal tomorrow.
if
So
I-
what do? You
If
made
I
a
sign a
joke.
contract and I'm selling a car to Eliezer, and then I write another contract, I'm selling it to you. His contract was first. I could write whatever I want. I could do whatever I want, but I already sold it to him. The sale is a sale. I didn't really mean it. You did what you did. You can't go back on what you did. And even if you want to need it, so you stole it now, you have to pay him
Gemara
back.
says a lot of times with what I had in mind. That means you never had in mind Bechlal to sell it.
But you made a contract. There's a difference. It's
So
star.
certain times when you
Normal when I make a star and I sell a bridge twice, I'm doing it to steal. But when I do it by chametz, we understand why I did it. We understand that I never had in mind to sell it.
So
I
they-
Because I didn't
I
sell the
agree with
bridge
you.
yesterday and I didn't sell it tomorrow.
Right, like
I
I
sold
agree
it
with
now.
Right, like a case of someone gives him a tana, he didn't know he has kids, and he sold it. He gave away all his
Right,
property
then
to
it's not a
someone else,
sale.
and then he found out that he does have kids. So the whole thing, we assume. So the shaylas
And the guy who gambles and plans on
sometimes
winning
you
the
don't.
gambling and he loses, even that is not real because I never would have gambled if I thought I would have lost. When I gamble, I plan on winning.
So that's what what you're saying. That's what the Ram Shik is the Chemed and the Divrei Yoel.
Here today,
They all tie in.
usually I'm
But on the other hand-
I'm a big makel.
But on the other hand, you have the Svar Fakir. So let's see what Moshe writes in the 5th Maramapin. He says that Beleza ain't shaykh levatal kinyan shekvar nasa. He says, anyways, you can't be mevatal kinyan which is already made. If I'll say you're not the owner of it, you can't sell it to someone else. Either he acquired it just then when he picked up the chametz, he acquired it then. Or he stole it. Shahu vaday of Raval Yiro. And after he stole it, so once he takes it, that chametz which he picked up, he's going to be Raval Yiro. But the din is, but the sale was a sale. Whatever he didn't pick up yet is a valid sale. Kivin shekana bein lemekach bein legezel, whether through buying it or stealing it.
He's dividing the sale. What I touch never sold. But what I didn't touch sold.
The sale was a sale. Everything was sold to the guy. But just whatever I took afterwards, that I stole from the guy. I stole it from the guy.
And what I didn't touch was perfect.
That was still sold.
So meaning whatever you didn't sell, so that mean that
whatever I didn't touch, I didn't steal, and it was a perfect sale.
No, it wasn't a perfect sale. It was stolen.
No, only what I touched.
It was a sale. It wasn't a perfect sale, but you stole it afterwards. You stole
Let's
it back.
say there was a warehouse full, and I only sold Pesach 10 cases. The other 990 cases were perfectly sold.
And the rest of the beer that you sold, it's really belongs to the guy.
The 10 cases, right? But the 10 cases,
you sold.
Even that was sold, but I stole it.
You stole it,
and therefore it becomes
us. Come back.
Huh?
What?
But the good can come back. Therefore, it's us behind all those.
The things you stole.
But the other 990 are good.
Yeah. But
So even if I go with this shit, then most of the Manhattan beers he didn't sell on Pesach. So most of what he's going to sell is good.
So these are the shittas that are makel that are makel. But even then, even if you go such a mahalach, you still have a problem. Could be they bought new beer on Pesach, and the beer they sold on Pesach is also going to be a problem. So it's still not so glad. You still have a suffix, and you have to try to estimate: is it roiv or is it mechsa? Mechsa. You have to get back into the shayla suffix chamash of a Pesach.
All fine and
But
dandy.
before,
But
one more thing. So they bavarn this in the mechira. They tried to bavarn this. They wanted that you shouldn't have this shayla of chametz which they sold on Pesach, and they also wanted to make it fit according to the Maram Shik. So they didn't just sell the chametz; they sold the whole factory. They sold the whole business. The person sold his business to his deputy. So even though the business was running, but it was the guy running. It was the guy's business. It wasn't the yid's business.
And even if he comes to work,
what?
And even if he's still coming to work and calling the shots.
So before we go back into that, let's first. I want to bring some more rayas. Before going to this, I want to go back to what we were talking before about isn't mevatel the mechira. So the Chalkas Yaakov brings some interesting rayas that it shouldn't be mevatel the mechira. Why? He brings there's a din of that someone who's al pi din supposed to be garnish his wife. He doesn't want to divorce his wife, so he did his kaifin. He didn't want to divorce his wife before, and they said he's not going to do it, and afterwards he said I really don't want to do it. But in middle,
he didn't live with her after.
But in middle,
maybe they
but in middle, they forced him to make the divorce, and he wrote the gerushin and he gave it, and still we say it's a good gerushin since he said he wants to do it. It's a mitzvah, right? The Raman's master. Why is it a good gerushin? He didn't want to do it. They forced him to. So the Raman's master, since it's a mitzvah, and every what? No, he didn't.
So then how are you comparing the
but
two?
Listen, the Ram says, why is it a good gerushin? Since it's a mitzvah, and he wants to be a yid. He wants to do what the Eibusher wants. He wants to.
But here the guy showed he didn't want.
Because
a minute later he went and sold it.
Wait. The Yetzer Hara forced him not to do it. So therefore, I'm basically forced him to say he wants to divorce her. That's really on what he wants to do. Later, he says, I didn't really want to do it. They just forced me to do it. We say no. We assume he wants to do the right thing. So here, the Chalkas Yaakov says the same thing over here. Even though it could be later, this person sold the chametz, he sold it to someone else, and it looks like he wants to be. He really doesn't care about the mechira. But be'etzem, the yid wants to do the right thing, and therefore, just like by Isser Eishes
Took me a few seconds. I'm starting to feel the
just like this is halacha. This is halacha. It's not chasidishkeit.
This is halacha. Same time.
It's just like by Isser Eishes Ish, you're going to be makel, and you're going to say that since is only as Yisrael, innocent Betzim, he wants to do the right thing, it's going to be a good gerushin. So Kol Shekein over here, we're only talking about Isser Darabanan. The fact, since it's a mitzvah, and L'Peil, he did the right thing, he did the mechira. The fact that later he changes his mind, that doesn't change anything.
But look at it this way. The bottom line, what would be better? That he shouldn't sell it at all,
Yeah.
or he sold it, and he went through all the
And he had a
tricks.
business plan written up. He had a business plan written up how he's going to be messing with the Rabbanim.
That's
He
right.
wrote it down
He
in
had
his journal,
okay,
exactly his
but
plan.
yes, and
It's better you should still sell it.
And the Rabbanim
Yeah.
knew all about all these tricks, and
Yeah.
they spoke about it. They said, you know what? It's not the best
The
thing.
Rabbanim heard him talking to his partner there. As soon
they
as they leave, we're going to get the
it's not
trucks
the best
ready to
thing,
roll.
not the best thing,
Yeah.
but it's better than nothing.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
But the Rabbanim said yes.
Yeah, that's
He was
what
still
they
calling the
asked,
shots
There's
that
a
week.
minor.
It's like he wasn't
The
calling it.
Rabbanim said yes.
There's a minor from the Rebbe, so Moshe
Some of the
Bogomilsky.
Rabbanim.
No, Moshe.
Moshe Bogomilsky wrote a letter to the Rebbe about doing the Mechiras Chametz for fried people. Is there any point of doing it? Because they're going to keep eating it on Pesach.
More a point on that than this guy who wrote in his business journal how they're going to screw around the whole thing, maybe. A fry the rates and he doesn't understand this. Here, they're planning on selling it tomorrow.
Yeah, but
They're planning on selling their beer.
In the beginning of the Shifra of Moshe, he writes another. So I don't know if they do this in the Nusach,
No.
but Moshe writes that they should
What
write.
if he did?
Moshe writes that it says that it should say in the Nusach that whatever chametz he needs on Pesach is going to be like koinit from the guy. Whatever he needs to take on Pesach is going to be like he's koinit then from the guy. So therefore, it's not gezel. I take his soul. It's just I'm going to take whatever I need. Whatever I need, I'm going to buy back from the guy on Pesach.
Whatever.
But there's this minor from the Rebbe. The Shiloh, they're asking if there's any point of doing it. So the Rebbe gives like 6 reasons why there is a point of doing selling the chametz. And one of the points the Rebbe says there that's mashma from the Alter Rebbe that even if the guy and if you sell the chametz, even though the person takes the chametz afterwards, it's not mevatel the mechira. It doesn't make the mechira batal. Even though the person took the chametz back afterwards, it's still a good mechira. Elamai, what he took was stolen, but everything else is a good mechira. What's the raya? The Alter Rebbe brings down from the Chak Yaakov that if you're selling the chametz, you're not allowed to lock it till the guy. You're not allowed to lock up the chametz so the guy can't get to it. They used to have problems when they would sell the chametz to the guy. Sometimes the guy would have to come and they would. You go to the base, he would get sicker. The Shai Shul brings a few shayas. They didn't know what to do. The guy was drinking everything up. They didn't know what to do. So they had different mices. One of them, the Rav paid him to go bring a letter to a certain city. So by the time he went there and came back, it was already after Pesach. Or one mice, they got him so drunk, and while when he was take shikar, they stole the key from him. So it was they stole the key from him. Whatever. They have a few different tricks, but also the mice is but the din is if you lock it up before you sold him, the mechira is bottle because what kind of mechira is you're showing it's not a real mechira b'shas ma'isa. But the Chayk Yaakov Alter brings it down. However, if after you sold it, then you went and you locked off the room, it's still a good mechira.
Then you stole.
The mechira is a
Then you
mechira.
stole the
You
whole
stole
thing,
it.
though. But that's even worse than the other way, than the guy doing business.
Because you stole everything. Well, the pale, but you see, he's been dying from Alter Rebbe, Chayk Yaakov, and
that's a
that
good mechira,
Ostak is still mechira.
But saying that everyone who goes away for Pesach and locks up their house.
No, but the word is if you need it, he'll call you and give you the key.
Rabbi Osler, but if you're here, so then you don't have to give the key to the house. If you go away from the house, from your,
You have to give him your key?
You
You
must
have to
give a
tell
key.
him, or you tell him where it is.
Or you give him the code or whatever.
And
I never
also,
heard my Rav never ask me if I'm going away. Maybe he thinks you're not going away. And years when I told him I'm going
I think some
away.
people assume that even if you're going away, you can still come back. I'm saying it's not you're doing it dafka to lock him out. Your house is always locked. You're not doing something with dafka to lock him out.
Right. Gotcha, there's a difference, right.
No,
You
but
tell them if
this
you
year they
need
asked me
it,
if
come
I'm
over
going
here.
away. I said
That
yes.
means
He
it's
said,
starting
give me
to
a
become
key.
more into the, somebody brought it to Allah, and now the Rabbanim are realizing more.
He said, give me the key. I gave him the key.
There's lots of halachas, sometimes more they come more.
So the Maisa is over here. So by the Mechira, so the Mechira.
Some more popular, yeah.
So okay, they say that the Mechira should work why they want to make work like Choladiyah. So they didn't just sell the actual chametz, they sold the whole business. I'm not sure the Star K, they had the headlines, just the radio show headlines. So they have like interviews. So they interviewed the OU and the O and the Star K. So it wasn't so clear exactly from the guy from the Star K why he doesn't. He says
They're
it's
not
not.
sure themselves
He says a pasnish. It's not this way. He says it's more a hashkafa thing. It's not how we want to do our mechiras that have the business running. He didn't. That was a teichen.
Because if not, everybody could do it.
So it sounded like the guy from the OU who came on. It sounded like he was saying it was a problem because of Rav Moshe. But I'm gonna say if you read the Bechira, they bavarn that they sold the whole business. They didn't only sell the chametz.
One thing is, why I think selling the whole business should be very good.
What?
Why isn't it? What's wrong with selling the whole business?
No, it's saying it's
yeah,
better.
nothing on
It's
it.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But for some reason the star case still they say it's not. I don't know. The guy was saying out hashkafa wise he's not so happy.
Because they're
with it.
bechlal.
No, it wasn't so clear.
Bechlal don't sit on selling chametz.
I know, but it's very funny because if you,
to fry.
They bechlal don't sit on the whole idea of selling chametz.
What if a Fruma Yid wants to sell his liquor store?
I
They'll sell it for him? Yes.
I found it very funny. Hashkafa wise, the whole mechira is very funny, right? The whole mechira is one big harama.
So you're taking it here to extremes. The guy's laughing in your face.
I hear. Yeah, so that's.
In his mind, he'd sign a few papers so all the religious Jews would buy my beer after Yom Tov.